Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of our rose fondant. We're going to actually be painting them today. We made them, if you remember, last Sunday. So today being Wednesday, a couple days later, they've got nice and hard, so they're a perfect time to paint. So in order to do this, what you're going to need is obviously your fondant roses. You're going to need some food coloring, and then you're going to need something possibly to dilute the food coloring a little bit. Generally, like I said before, I do like to use the powdered food color. I'm actually out of it right now, and my cake store, unfortunately, is out too. So we kind of had to go with a little bit of a plan B. So we're actually going to use gel food coloring right here. It's on my hands right now. So you can see we've already been practicing a little bit tonight. So what you'll do with the gel food coloring is just put a couple drops in, and which I've already done here, and then you're gonna want something to possibly liquefy it. You can use any kind of an extract like vanilla, almond, lemon, or you can use what I like to use is vodka. I just put it in a spray bottle, spray it like so. The alcohol will dissolve in it in about a couple minutes, so it's perfectly safe to have with kids, everything like that, but there's no flavor in it, so it's kind of nice if you're gonna eat it, it doesn't overpower your cake with different flavors that you might not want. So with this one, you can see right here, I've got a couple examples right here. These two right here are going to be my flowers that only have one coat of color on them. This little one right here's got two, and then this one's got three. So you can see the more you do, the darker they get. With the first ones here, as you can see too, you got to be really careful just to not get too many streaks or anything like that. Once the food coloring has dried completely, it will not be quite as shiny, but it will have a little bit of a semi kind of gloss to it, but it won't be quite as beautiful to me as the matte with the powder. But I think it gives it a different kind of look. It gives it a very nice dewy spring look, especially when we finalize the cake and we put some pretty leaves with it. It's going to look really good. So first what we're going to do is just take obviously the flower and let's start painting it. With the gel, you want to be a little bit more mindful of your strokes here. So you want to kind of get as much as you can out of the gel by spreading it over all the petals that you can. Make sure to get in every, as you can see, a little nook and cranny right here. When you're putting the flour on the cake, you'll be surprised as you look at the cake at a different angle, maybe when you're delivering it, and you realize, oh my gosh, I missed a whole area. So it's really important the whole time you're painting these flowers to constantly keep moving them and looking around and checking all the different angles. When I do the petals, I like to do them in a clean stroke like so. That way it just kind of makes it blend a little bit more, and it's just kind of not so blotchy looking. Especially with gel, I think you have to kind of be a little bit more mindful of that. Make sure also you paint the back of all the petals. So even though you can't really see it now, you will see it on the cake, especially if it's on a tiered cake that's up a little bit higher or anything like that. So getting every little nook and cranny right there, constantly moving it around. Don't worry too much about painting the base of the flower right here at this time, because you need something to hold on to, and as you can see, since my fingers are all red, I was kind of holding on to it earlier, so you can always paint that last. This gel food coloring, though, it will take quite a while to dry thoroughly. I mean, I would definitely give it at least an hour, if not two, if you're planning on doing multiple coats on it, just because it will take a while. And when you paint on wet gel food coloring and you keep painting on it, it will just streak it. So it won't actually add more color until it's thoroughly dry, just kind of like a wall at home. And also, like I talked about before, you want to make sure that the flowers are completely dry before you put them on your cake so they don't transfer any color, especially this kind of a red color. Like it would be terrible if you're doing, say, like a white cake and you put a red flower on it and it's not completely dry and it's not exactly where you want it. Then you got a big red streak on your cake. So just think about that when you're getting them ready. All right, so you can see how we're going here in the middle, just making sure to get all the little angles right here. And looking really good. The color I use too on this gel food coloring is called Tulip Red. So it's a really good, bright, springy red, which I really like. I thought at first I was gonna do them a lot darker, but I'm kind of liking this light color because it makes it look very nice for this, hopefully, upcoming spring weather soon. And there we go, just getting in all, like I said, these little nooks and crannies. Constantly turn it over. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but you can see kind of like right here on the back petal, we want to make sure that we're getting it all and not missing any angle whatsoever. And then once they're dry in a couple nights, I will bring it back and show you guys how I'm going to put them on the cake as a final step. It's kind of hard to visualize it when you're seeing everything in individual little steps, but it is going to come together. We're going to put some pretty leaves on the cake as well and make it look really beautiful as a little bouquet on this cake. Quite nice. All right, there we go. So we'll at least get the backs of these petals. See, there's another spot we missed, and another spot. They're everywhere. Okay. And there we go. It's looking really nice. So we'll get the backs of these petals real quick, and then we'll let them dry. And I do think it'd be good too when we do these roses, since I've got some that are 2 coats, 3 coats, 1 coat. I think once you put them all together, I think it's gonna look really nice as well, because like we talked about before, no 2 flowers are the same, so it's kind of nice to have a little bit of different shades of all the same color, but just different hues of it. I think it's gonna look really nice. Okay, so let's do one more spin. There's a little spot right there. Just kind of take a good look, make sure we didn't miss anything. It's also another good time just to make sure there's no little streaks or anything you kind of want to fix up. Right there's a spot. Nope, there's another spot. Got it? Yeah, got that one right there. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So as you can see, we have gotten step 2 of painting some flowers. So I've got a little bit more I'm going to paint, but that gives you a good idea of the look we're going for in the very end. And like I said, we'll let it dry, and then I will see you guys in a couple more days, and we'll finish up our project by putting our bouquet together. Thanks a bunch, you guys. Have a great night.